Time for the Buckeye Talk score predictions for the Peach Bowl. Ohio State against Georgia in a college football playoff national semifinal. Doug Lamery's, Nathan Baird, Stephen Means is upstairs under the weather. We'll give you his pick. But Doug, what is your score prediction for Ohio State's third playoff semifinal in 4 years?
Sponsored by Chick-fil-A.
I eat a lot of Chick-fil-A.
42, not as much as I thought I'd be. No nuts. 42-41 Georgia. I couldn't quite get there. I think it's a toss-up. I think if they play 10 times, they might split it 5-5. That's a high-scoring game. I do think the Georgia offense is maybe in the end almost a bigger issue for Ohio State than the Georgia defense. I do think Ohio State will move the ball, but like in the end, in a toss-up game, I just you get a sense from Georgia of just like confidence and competence, and not that I don't have that from Ohio State, but I just think Georgia's really tough, and it's going to take a great game from Ohio State. They can do it, but I have them coming a point short, 42-41.
Well, you and I, much as we are standing right next to each other, are basically right next to each other on this score prediction, but we're not on top of each other. We're not in the same spot. I am one spot over. I am 38-37 Ohio State to win this game, and I think of it a lot of the same ways as you do, as far as how this game, how evenly matched these teams are. I tried to think back, like if I'm picking this game on 11:59 a.m. on November 26th, how would I have picked it, and how much does one half of the Michigan game change how I think about these teams? And on top of that, kind of what was the deciding factor for me is the intangibles that Ohio State has on its favor going into this game. I think this is a team that is a little bit motivated right now to prove itself for good reason, and it kind of has to go out and prove itself. There's a lot at stake, I think, from going into this game and being able to prove that it is still one of the 4 best teams in the country. And I think that Ohio State, as you're kind of saying, defensively, as good as Georgia is, there are some vulnerabilities there that I think Ohio State can exploit offensively if it's aggressive enough, if it goes after it. That's something it also has to prove, because it didn't necessarily do that down the stretch of the Michigan game. So I'm saying Ohio State 38-37 over Georgia. And Steven is on the same side as me, but with slightly more confidence.
A relative blowout in comparison to our 1-point games.
Exactly. It was 42-39 was his pick for Ohio State to win this game. So it's actually 2 picks in favor of Ohio State to win this game. One in favor of Georgia. Most people nationally are picking Georgia, but everybody, I think, a lot of, at least on our side, we expect this to be more competitive than maybe people on the national level are thinking of it right now. Get the text, 614-350-3315. That's where we'll be giving you all of our pregame intel and everything we hear and see from Mercedes-Benz Stadium before the game. And come back to the Buckeye Talk podcast right after the game, or as soon as we can hit it up after the game, we'll have a full breakdown of Ohio State against Georgia